Gonna get the music rolling now. What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday.
Hello. Happy Monday.
Coming at you guys with another episode of PSTR. Dean and Brady in the booth.
Yes, sir. We're going to be going over new breaking NFL news in the quarterback carousel, and then we're going to go over the NBA All-Star Game, as you guys will guess by the thumbnail. And we'll go over a little bit of March Madness because Selection Sunday is on Sunday, the 14th. So
got a lot of stuff here to unpack, as we like to say on the show.
Yes, quite a lot to unpack. Yes, quite a lot.
So, hey, let's get right into it. There's some breaking news that we wanted to talk about from the get-go.
Yeah, so literally like 10 minutes ago, it finally happened. Dak Prescott, Cowboys, link up, 4 years, $160 million. So,
what do you think? What do you think there?
First of all, I am shocked that the Cowboys are paying him that much money.
I know, after that injury, right?
Well, the injury just compounds it, right? Because it's like, isn't like Deshaun getting paid like $28 a year or something? Like and he just got paid a lot, right? He just signed that long contract, or no, maybe he's at 35. Isn't Dak getting paid now more than Deshaun Watson? Like,
most definitely. Wait, so it was how much? What was it?
He's getting paid 4 years, $160 million. Now, I don't know how it's spread out, but that comes out to $40 million a year. But,
wow.
It might be.
No, he's in like top 5 paid quarterbacks now.
So he got what he wanted. That's what he wanted.
Well, I think he got exactly what he wanted because he wanted a 5-year deal, he wanted a 4-year deal.
He got everything he wanted.
He got literally everything he wanted.
He wanted top 5 pay, and he wanted a long-term contract, and he got both. Both. I don't know if they can opt out after a certain amount, but I haven't gone. It literally just broke. But I hope the Cowboys took some measures in case of his injury where they can opt out, or like the Jimmy G contract.
Yeah.
Where even though Jimmy G's getting paid $25 this year, the Niners could just waive him and then they'll pay him nothing.
Jimmy G.
I bet we'll get into that, but I bet if the Cowboys have made some mistakes with some contracts, Zeke and whatnot.
Well, and really here, like, I feel like what's kind of gone down with Dak getting signed is that's kind of like the first, domino, aside from Carson Wentz and a couple other names that I'm forgetting. But, like, that's probably biggest.
He's the first big name.
He's the first big domino.
Yeah.
That has fallen down, and that has led us closer to seeing what the landscape of the NFL is going to be like in the future.
Yeah, he was. I mean, this was probably the least likely of him going anywhere else, right? Like, we knew he was going to. I didn't know the Cowboys were going to cave.
I know, because they were in the. I mean, Jerry Jones had been fighting Dak Prescott's. Will to get a contract like that for literally like 4 years now, And
I think what I think now, just thinking about it, I think what you told me earlier, I was studying and stuff, but you brought up, I think Russell Wilson, what'd you say? Russell Wilson's people came out and said he wanted to go to Chicago, or?
Russell Wilson's camp came out and said that Chicago would be an ideal spot for him to play.
So maybe, that gain leverage that they got with Russ saying that the Cowboys were one of his options, maybe that left. And maybe that was part of the reason that happened tonight.
Man, that's a really good point you bring up, because I knew that a lot of people in the Cowboy side of things were definitely entertaining the idea of having Russell Wilson in their starting lineup coming the 2021 season.
Yeah, who wouldn't want Russ? Russ is amazing. Russ is a great leader. He's everything you want. Russ is a top 5 quarterback.
Well, who wouldn't want Russ? We can start with Pete Carroll.
Oh, God, that old man needs to retire. That old guy.
Well, I think, and Coward brought it up today on his show, Russell Wilson's going to outlast Pete Carroll for sure. Because Pete Carroll is, 73, 76? I don't know, one of the two. I think he's in his 70s. He's not gonna coach till he's 80. There's no way.
Pete Carroll, a couple years ago, he was getting interviewed, and he was saying they were asking if Belichick would coach into his 80s or something. And then you know what Pete Carroll's response was? What? He's like, "Hell, why stop there?"
I don't know what these people are saying on TV. He's 69 actually, but still, that's very old.
But he thinks he could coach into his 80s.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally.
I mean, he actually believes that. He wasn't joking when he made that statement.
Well, hey, it's going to be
dead serious.
It's going to be I think it's going to be a really heavily storied 2021 season, regardless of where these guys end up, just from what's happened so far this offseason.
Yeah. We're not shocked about the Cowboy news, really, just by the fact that he got paid that much. I do think the Cowboys I do think that Russ's people making that statement had an impact because Dak's their only option.
No doubt, for sure.
And I think that they effed up a couple years ago. They should have paid him. They would have gotten him cheaper.
Yeah.
They just, how they
they paid him more money after a more serious injury.
Yeah,
that injury was not chill.
Yeah, I think they would have been paying him. They didn't want to pay him. I think it was like $32 a year or something, right? Like it was high, and I think that's where Dak's actual value is. But you know what? I'm not a Cowboys fan. Screw the Cowboys. They did this to themselves. They should have just paid him. They should have paid him before they paid Zeke. That was the biggest mistake.
Hey, so quickly, just because you brought it up earlier, I just want to mention this is through Field Yates on Twitter. The highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes, $45 million a year. Number 2, Dak Prescott, $40 million a year. Number 3, Deshaun Watson, $39. Number 4, Russell Wilson, $35. So with that,
I'm just curious. Did they have 5 on there?
Did they have 5? Let me check. I think he just had the 4.
The top 4.
Let me see though. He's right. I did say top 5.
I'm just curious.
No, they just have the 4.
Okay, it's chill.
Yeah.
It's chill.
I don't know if the Twitter would let them use that many.
It's going to be Darnold. Characters. Darnold's going to be when Darnold gets paid this year.
You think Darnold's going to be top 5 paid?
Yeah.
With the numbers he's put up.
Yeah.
Why? Just because he's that high talent?
I think Buffalo's going to pay him anything they want to.
Darnold? No, you're missing Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
I was about to say, dude.
My mind's on Darnold.
No. That was a take right there. That was a take and a half. I was about to run with it.
No, it's been a long day.
Hey, no worries, man. I feel you.
Josh Allen when he gets paid this year.
Hey, by the way, if for those of you listening or just checking us out, we are indeed wearing flannels. I know it might not appear like that with the way the colors are coming through.
Flannel.
We're trying to start a Flannel Monday.
Flannel Mondays.
Flannel Monday kind of hashtag.
As you can see, movement. We introed with Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to what we were just going over. Russell Wilson and his impact on
Dak. So Dak's getting paid.
Dak's getting paid not.
My God!
Not top 5,
They're
top
just
2.
like Aaron Rodgers should be paid more than him too. It's just like Dak. You know what though? The Cowboys reap what they sow. So I don't. I think that's egregious how much he's getting paid, but he also got totally screwed and he got hurt and it's a terrible injury. And Dak's a good guy. He's not a dick. So
he deserved to get paid.
I do think that the Cowboys fans are going to end up hating Dak because you know what's going to happen? It's just like, and he hasn't won anything, right? Do you remember after Drew Brees won the Super Bowl, and then he got the big contract, and they couldn't put enough supporting talent?
They tagged him.
But whatever. But they couldn't pay out a bunch of other guys. His supporting cast diminished, right?
Yeah.
What happened to Aaron Rodgers? What happened to Aaron Rodgers after they won the Super Bowl? He got paid number 1 quarterback money, and his supporting cast diminished, and all those guys retired, right?
How much was Peyton Manning getting paid in his second Super Bowl run?
He took a pay cut, I think.
I was gonna say because that was.
I think he was getting paid less than Thomas. I think he was getting paid $20 million a year.
Interesting. I know we don't we're not going to go over this too much, but Tom apparently went into the offseason saying that he's open to readjusting his contract from what was it, 26 million a year, which was quite a bit since he's been getting paid like very little compared to that. He's open to getting paid, reconstructing his contract under the table and doing something as low as like I think people are saying like $500K a year because he wants to hold on to all those guys around him. I just think it
doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. He's got the money for it, but it's just interesting to see that happen. And then you also got guys like, the younger guys who are making the dough. It's just a funny parallel.
But why? If I was young, football is a sport where it could get taken away from you.
No, you have to make that money. I just think he's in such a situation where it's just kind of like it's broken.
Oh no,
it's broken.
If I was him, I would play for the freaking minimum. I mean, what he's made so much money. Like, I just want to get up those rings, man. And then he makes money off of endorsements. He's making millions.
No, he does fine money wise. I just think he's in a very good position right now, and they're talking about bringing in Odell Beckham or something like that.
No, I mean, good for him. Good for him. But you cut me off in the middle of my Dak point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I just thought that was interesting.
No, it is, and good for Tom Brady. But we talked about Tom Brady a lot.
I know, and that's why I said I didn't want to get into it too much.
Yeah, it is interesting, and that means Tampa Bay is going to be a problem for a while, and they can keep a lot of guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be in that kind of.
Dak Prescott got paid, and he might not have, should have, according to.
Well, yeah. So what I was saying was, and I heard this from Coward and other people. So, after winning the Super Bowl, which Dak hasn't even made it to the, he lost in the NFC Championship to the Rams, right? That's what happened that year. He hasn't even made it to a Super Bowl. And they're not going to be able to put up a good supporting cast around him. Do you think he's going to win 11 games anytime soon?
Yeah, it's going to be tough for me to say that with the defense they got on the field.
And then the fan base is going to feel a bunch of spite towards him because he's getting paid top 2 money when he's not producing top 5.
Well, he has the talent. I think he has the ability to produce top 5.
Really?
I do. If you look at the numbers that he was putting up last year before he got hurt, they were outstanding, and they were definitely in that conversation, in my opinion.
I think there are more talented quarterbacks with less weapons. I just think it's because he has so many players on his team that are good. I don't think he's a top 5 talent.
No, he's
maybe he puts up top 5 stats. I don't think he's a top 5 talent.
All right. I mean, I think
I could give you 5 quarterbacks right now that I would rather have.
He was putting up stats. I think the argument of stats and talent is like a whole different.
I think he's a top 8 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I think he got overpaid too. But he was putting up really great, outstanding numbers before he got hurt. And you got to look at that for some things. And also their defense really held him back.
I think, not to bring up Niner news, if we would have had a healthy Dak Prescott, we would have won that Super Bowl. I think he's consistent. He doesn't make mistakes. He's tough, and besides this 1 year, he's durable.
If you had
I agree.
If you had a healthy, top 13 quarterback, we would have won that Super Bowl.
Yeah. I do think
Jimmy
I would have
14th.
6 or 7 quarterbacks above Dak.
Let's talk about the Russell Wilson news. Have we gone over that? He potentially his camp has been looking at Chicago. I know you went on to say on record last episode you didn't like that fit. You prefer Oakland. What do you think about Russell Wilson on that roster replacing Mitchell Trubisky after they just made the playoffs?
I love the roster. I don't know about Matt Nagy and Russell Wilson mixing it together.
How do you feel about the city? How do you feel about the team? I
love Chicago. Chicago's sick. I love that defense. Bunch of beasts.
Oh yeah,
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, Mack is a
that
boss.
Defense is raw.
Mack's a boss.
He's only got Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson's a very talented wide receiver. I don't know about their offensive line was a little shaky. It wasn't terrible. It was mostly Mitch's fault. And I don't think the Bears are going to be some Super Bowl contender immediately. With Russell Wilson, no. Because the Seahawks aren't a Super Bowl contender. They're a playoff contender. I would call them a deep playoff contender. I would not, with that defense, I don't know. I have to.
Yeah, it depends. But
it's really up. They're definitely in the playoffs.
I
Definitely in the
think
playoffs.
man, I think that if you put Russell Wilson on that team, I might take them to win the NFC North.
Oh, I take
I
them.
really didn't.
I take them to beat. I think the Packers.
The
are
Packers
overrated.
have to make some like really crazy moves this offseason, and from everything that we've learned about the Green Bay Packers organization, they just don't pay people in the offseason market.
They're totally content with losing in the NFC Championship game every year.
And they know that their fans are so diehard. You know, it kind of. I feel like there's just like culture of ownership up there in the North where they're just totally chill, paying like whatever they need to keep their fans there, but not win.
They're still keeping it off of those Super Bowl 1 and 2 or whatever. They're riding off of those coattails, man. They're just
Oh yeah.
They're chill with being. They're like, oh, we got 3. What do they have? 3 Super Bowls? They have 3, right?
They have definitely at least they have 4, I think.
They have 4.
Because remember, Brett won one and
Brett won one. Okay, they have 4 then. Yeah, no, they won the first 2 or the 1 and 3 or something, and yeah, no, they have 4 then.
Because Brett won one in the late '90s.
They just have to win one every 20 years or something, and then to keep their fans happy.
Hey, but we as Niner fans have had it worse than that.
Yeah, us.
Yes, us New Age Niner fans.
Not our parents.
Seahawks are. So I'm going to go into the odds for Russell Wilson's next team, and then we'll move on to another topic. Minus 500 for the Seahawks, and then it goes to Bears plus 300, Jets plus 700, and then Raiders plus 1,000. So they think that it's going to be.
Wait. Jets
are plus 700. They are closer. They're considering the Jets.
I'd have the Raiders second.
And I think I agree with you there. I think the thought process behind that is market, like, because Russ obviously wants to go to a big market, right? I think it's clear at this point that he's put Chicago as his main destination. They're the most viable big market team, you know, because Vegas is like inching towards big market, but it's still kind of Vegas, you know.
I mean, once Vegas is a big market.
No, it is, but it's not in the same.
Successful...
It's not in the same league as Chicago or New York.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm putting
Dallas.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it's like it's borderline big market, but it's not there. And I feel like that's the reason why the odds markers are
Seattle. I put Seattle and Vegas in the same market. Like
exactly.
They're like small They're like small markets on the fringe of big markets.
So Russ is obviously with these odd makers and keeping this in mind, he's valuing bigger is better as far as markets go.
Yeah, clearly not the weather, right?
He gives no fucks about the weather, and there's the
Chicago.
First story.
That's gonna be icy, man. He's trading the rain for the snow, man.
We'll see how it goes. All dangerous.
I'd love to see him on the Bears. I think that I would. I think it's a more, when one of the storied old franchises in the NFL is better, I just think it's better for the league. I would love to see the Bears be relevant again.
It's like even though we hate to see it, the Lakers being good,
Yeah, no, it's more interesting.
Or the Knicks.
It is.
The Knicks are okay this year.
I like the Knicks. The Knicks are scrappy.
It's just it's good for storylines and just everything.
Yeah, you want the storied franchises. Like I don't care about the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's cool that they're getting Trevor Lawrence, but
the Yankees, it's like you don't want the Yankees to be bad all the time. You want to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, you want them to be good enough to hate.
Exactly.
You don't want to feel sorry for them. Like the Bears, I feel sorry for. They're so mediocre.
Oh yeah, man, they've been bad for a while.
That's such a good point.
And they made a Super Bowl too. But
you want them to be just good enough to hate. That's what you want.
There's our stickers, our bumper sticker quote of the day.
We should put that on a shirt. We should put that on our website. Okay, where do you think he's going to end up?
Dude, to be honest,
this year.
Dude, part of me thinks that, like, and it's been such great conversation, but part of me thinks that, there's just this, like, all this convo for nothing. There's a chance that it could just be all this really interesting, fun, topic of conversation that literally leads to Dak Prescott going to the Cowboys, Russell Wilson going to the Seahawks. Deshaun's probably going to go to Miami. Like all the likely destinations that are going to happen are going to happen. But in my heart, I would love to see him go to the Bears.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I agree with you. I honestly think Russell Wilson doesn't want to go anywhere, and I think this is just a crap storm that he's doing to freaking push Pete Carroll out. That's what I think is going on.
No, I think that there's definitely some stuff going on behind those doors that we don't know.
I think he likes Seattle. I think he's stirring up all of this stuff because he doesn't like Pete Carroll. And he doesn't like how Pete Carroll's treated him. And I think if Pete Carroll gets pushed out or the ownership has more of a role in managing the team and they overrule Pete Carroll, which is not good. Your head coach should not be overruled, but Pete Carroll will be on his way out. I think that's what Russell Wilson is camper trying to do. I think they're trying to. I think that's their main goal. I don't think they actually want to move.
It'd be like, and I know you don't like me referencing it, but it'd be like if Brady were to, instead of going to Tampa, push Belichick out. It's almost like on that level, right?
Belichick's a little. It is.
Belichick's a little bit heavier to push, but yeah.
Pete Carroll. I mean, it is significant because Pete Carroll brought them their only championship, right? They have that was their first Super Bowl. They're not now one of the teams that has won a Super Bowl, so that is significant. Yeah, it is a big deal. Yeah, there's nothing really else to compare it to.
It's definitely sports politics, and we're just kind of in the midst of it. Right.
True. I think most likely, he's going to stay with the team. And if there's no change in ownership or management or anything, he's going to leave next year. I think he'll be gone next year. Then he'll put up with this crap for one more year if they don't change anything. If they change something over the season, maybe Russ is like he's getting beat up and he's like and then they end up firing Pete Carroll or something. Then I think he stays. But I think he'll endure one more year, to be honest.
No, totally. And something I just realized here, and it's not a huge deal. Sorry, it's just kind of a minor technical difficulty. Instead of streaming this episode, I recorded it. So this is going to get uploaded to YouTube after the fact.
Okay.
We're just going to have to roll with the punches there. My bad on that.
No worries.
I totally hit the recording button, and I meant to hit streaming. It's just like right next to each other. And I was wondering when that would happen. So we're not going to lose any of this content. It's just all being recorded, and I'll just upload it shortly after we're done.
Yeah.
So, all right.
We apologize to you for our fearless leader's mistakes here.
Yeah, that's my bad.
He does his best, people. He does his best.
That was my bad. All right, well, anyways, let's get back on track here. We're not live or anything, but hopefully pick up some views on the after.
Treat it like it's live. Come on.
Yeah, definitely. So let's move on to the Niners quickly. Jimmy Garoppolo is being heavily pursued by the New England Patriots, according to a writer from one of their notable sources. What do you think of that?
Did you read that article at all?
Yeah, I did.
So I guess, and Coward was talking about it too. I thought it was funny. So apparently Jimmy is their number one option. Jimmy's their quarterback next year. And Jimmy is under contract for another 2 years.
Far and away their plan A.
Far and away their plan A, word for word.
Oh, Coward, the way he was talking about it, if you want to get into it, it was hilarious.
But that's what they said.
He was saying it reminded him of how the Knicks are saying, like, oh, we're going to get Kevin Durant, or like...
It was tampering. It's technically tampering.
It's just tampering, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's so funny. And then you listen to Florio saying that the Niners are going to waive him, and I don't believe that.
Florio's an idiot for that.
Jimmy Garoppolo does have some trade value. If the Niners end up trading him, it's not going to be for nothing.
The Niners,
I get sick of hearing that.
I feel like what's likely is, and this is kind of what Coward went with, and I'm just going to agree with him here, is the Niners are probably going to draft a quarterback, and from there, they'll probably have Jimmy as our starting quarterback, and then slowly weave him out. Unless we get really good trade value for him.
I kind of believe more in the Chris Sims take on it. I think so. So I don't really want to go over Deshaun Watson, but it's a factor here. It's, as you say, a domino. I think I would bet my house that if he leaves Texans, he's going to Miami. Miami has the trade load to get that done. Like, they have 3 first-round picks. It's going to happen. And as you said, the Texans are going to choose a quarterback. So that's another quarterback off the board for sure, right? Yeah. And if Miami keeps their picks, which I think Deshaun Watson's going there. I think it's going to happen. There was a chance that they would keep Tua, right? So there was a chance that pick would not be used as a quarterback. So there's another quarterback off the board. I think that, as we've heard a lot, the Jets are enamored with Zach Wilson, the BYU quarterback.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Right? So they're trying to create a bidding war for Darnold, but I think if the price is not too high, I think Darnold is Shanahan's guy. I think Shanahan would way rather draft a cornerback because their cornerbacks are terrible.
They need better secondary.
They would draft a corner, maybe the guy out of South Carolina or Virginia. Really good. I forget their names. At number 12, and then they'd only have to give up a second-round pick to get Darnold. Darnold is not going for a first-round pick.
And you could almost get that done and also get rid of Jimmy and get something for him too.
That's the whole thing. So
best case scenario.
The triangle, right? So the triangle goes San Francisco, Jets, New England. Even though the Jets and Patriots hate each other, right? Because Shanahan and Belichick like each other. And obviously Saleh and LaFleur's brother are both with the Jets, and they like Shanahan. So it might be
that's a good call, actually. I kind of like this.
It's a triangle kind of trade, right?
Yeah.
It goes Darnold, West Coast, Jimmy out to New England. Oh, sorry, it's not a triangle. It's two sides of a triangle. But so it'd be Jimmy going to New England, Darnold going to the Jets, and then the Jets drafting Wilson.
A little geometry
BYU quarterback.
A little geometry here with Dean.
Yeah, I'm a little off. I don't have a map in front of me, so
Hey, I think you bring up a good point, and I don't ever see. I know Patriots Nation kind of liked what they saw in Darnold. Just really quickly, I don't ever see the Jets trading over to a division rival. That just doesn't happen in any sport.
No.
In all sports, that won't happen.
No, but I honestly think I don't, because they hate each other, right? I don't think it's going to be a 3-team trade or anything. No. I think it's going to be like they're going to get that done, and then they're going to secretly
It'll be
move
like
Jimmy.
A square.
Then they'll secretly move Jimmy, right?
There'll be 4 different 90-degree angles intersecting in different.
But you got to admit though, like it's only old management of the Jets that hate the Patriots. Like Saleh and LaFleur have nothing against the Jets. I mean the Patriots.
No,
so it's like
yeah.
So and it works out. I honestly think there's like a 75% chance of that happening, or maybe 70. Right?
Hey, if Darnold's a starting quarterback, I think the Niners have interesting odds going into the future season.
I think I agree with you. I think if you're the Jets, I love Zach Wilson. I think I think you have to pick Zach
How would you Wilson. Not pick him? The guy's gaining steam like crazy.
So think about it. If they're reasonable and you want to give your buddy a deal, right? Like we did, we got Saw a head coaching job, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a whiff on their trade. A second round pick is totally fair. So I think a second round pick for Darnold, he's not worth a first round pick. He's not even worth a late first round pick.
Especially with what the numbers he's been putting up.
And then I think Jimmy is worth a second round pick if the Patriots want him that bad, right?
So essentially you're saying we could trade Jimmy Garoppolo.
We keep a second round pick. Yeah.
Essentially it's like trading Jimmy for Darnold.
For a cheaper option. With more upside.
And that's what Sims likes?
Sims thinks all 3 teams, that's the best. Yeah. The Patriots have no quarterback options. Mariota, Cam, no. They love Jimmy. They want Jimmy back. And the Jets love Zach Wilson. And Shanahan has always loved you know,
Darnay.
Darnold. So I think there's a great chance of that happening.
That'd be awesome, man.
After hearing Sim say that, I was like, wow, like it makes like too much sense. You know?
Was some deep sea diving he did there.
Yeah,
the relationships and everything. That was awesome.
I think that's going to be the only big thing that happens. I think you're right. I think so. Dak's going to the Cowboys. I think Russ is staying with the Seattle Seahawks. I think that Deshaun's going to Miami. Wouldn't shock anyone. I think that's going to be the big trade, and everyone's going to be like, "Holy crap!" Like I think that's going to be nuts.
If the Niners don't make a move this offseason, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah,
with what's gone on in their, the other two teams in their league have made moves. There's no way that front office right now is sitting like, okay, I like our chances against these teams. They got to make a move.
Yeah, I think that helps out all three teams, and it's totally doable, and no one's overpaying,
Yeah.
The Niners get to pivot off of Jimmy's injuries. The Patriots get to pivot off of all of this total uncertainty, and he was their Steve Young, He was going to be their Steve Young for Joe Montana, like Tom Brady. He was going to be their Steve Young, but then management pushed him out, because, Tom was their guy. And it was the smart move because Tom got him 2 Super Bowls. So, and then the Jets get Chris Sims compares Zach Wilson to arm talent to that of Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. And he did not say that lightly. And I did go back and see a couple of games. He does throw some of those, those passes that, those incomplete passes that,
Mahomes had in the
Super Bowl, like obviously Zach Wilson makes those throws. It's crazy.
Man, it doesn't matter where you throw the football at this point. It's just if you can throw it, because as we've seen with all these different top level quarterbacks coming out of smaller schools, not really looked at as like elite football schools. As if you can throw that thing, man, like it doesn't really matter. That's the way I see it.
I agree with you, but I also I hate when people just say the guy has a big arm, that a lot of it's accuracy too.
Accuracy is like the main thing that you need to be good at.
I think it's the most important thing. I'd rather have a guy that's got
Look
less
at
of an arm
Jamarcus.
and
Where did
more accurate.
Jamarcus Russell go?
But it's like, yeah, it's just that was the problem with Josh Allen, right? He finally got accurate this year. Like him and Mahomes could throw it 100 yards. Didn't they have a little challenge or something?
I think 70.
Whatever, crazy far. That's stupid far, right?
100 yards would be ridiculous.
I don't know what they did. It was crazy far.
No,
but,
you're right.
But I just think that's my only. I don't like when I talk to you, not to you, but to other people. People think I hate Lamar, but I don't see the upside that other people have of Lamar. Lamar Jackson.
Always finding a way to take some slights at Lamar.
I'm not. You're. When I talk about Lamar, people are like, "Oh, he can be a top 5 quarterback." He can't be a top 5 quarterback. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like I think accuracy, you can improve it, right? But there's always a cap, right? There's a accuracy. You can't just become. Accuracy isn't something you could totally teach, completely, right? Because otherwise everyone would be accurate. They would all spend the time and be accurate, Lamar throws ducks.
Well, his completion percentage really shows, right? He's never been above 66%.
But when you see him throw the ball, they aren't spirals. Don't you see you see him throw to who's his big tight end, the guy from Oklahoma? Jackie had him on our fantasy football team.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah, and when he throws it, Andrews catches it, but they're ducks. He's just they're his mechanics aren't great, and eventually he's gonna get hit enough because he runs like a running back that his speed and athleticism
but
are
at
gonna
this
go, right?
At this point in time, I think what's to be said about Lamar, and I'm not that high on him, is his ability to run with the football. As long as he has that, and you're right, it's not going to be forever.
But it's only 2 or 3 years.
But I'm saying as long as that's with him for however long it is, 2 to 3 years, he'll be a top 10 quarterback just because
Oh yeah.
he's
Oh,
literally
totally.
he's literally Michael Vick reincarnated. Not as good of a thrower, but a better runner.
I don't disagree with that. I've never said he's not a top 10 quarterback.
Just
I
because his ability to run the football is like unseen.
people saying that he's a top 5 quarterback, I don't believe that.
No,
Like
because
I don't.
late in the game and in the quarter and
He
then
can't throw the ball.
the problem is they're really good at winning games big, but in games that are close, and I only saw him do it like a couple of times. He's not the best, and it's very. It's like it's sketch. I
He's
don't
too.
I don't feel comfortable being behind in a game with him. If my
When
money is on the
when
Ravens, I don't like it.
what did they say? You get the Ravens in 3rd and long when he can't run and he's got to air it out, right? That's the whole way of stopping the Ravens, right?
I would much rather have Drew Brees.
Do you feel
in a
Do you feel comfortable with Lamar Jackson throwing in 3rd and 7+ yards?
Well, I'd like to see stats on his 3rd and longs because I think
I know they're bad.
the way that
If
beat
I
the
bet my
Ravens.
life on that they're bad.
The
I
other,
bet my
the
life
other
that
thing
they're
is he
bad.
makes some poor decisions where he runs pretty far back there and takes some big sacks.
I just think he gets too in love with running. I think he gets like Kyler and Russ and Mahomes even they scramble to look for deep shots down the field.
Yeah, that's
Lamar scrambles to look for a hole to run upfield.
Yeah,
That's
I think Lamar is entertaining and is a freak athlete. But as far as not universal, as far as like innovative quarterback, pushing the ability of what a quarterback can do, I think you look for Mahomes and you look for Russell Wilson and even Aaron Rodgers in that regard. Kyler Murray as well. You got to be able to scramble and then throw it, not scramble and then run 20 yards. You're totally right.
I totally agree with you. I've always felt like we got cheated out of Vic's prime years, the 3 or 4. Like Vic was gonna win a Super Bowl. Like he would do the scrambling. He would do the Russell Wilson stuff too, and he was a lefty, so that makes it way harder to defend him. And he had the Lamar Jackson, maybe not as good as running upfield, but very good.
Wait, he was a southpaw?
Yeah, Vic's a lefty.
Oh, really?
Do you know how dead? Well, that's why he was. It's just like, what the hell do you do with Vic? He's such a unicorn. Anyways, okay, we got off topic, but so we went over. So we think so Darnold. That's most. So we think that Dak signed to recover. Dak signed 4 years, $160 million. We think he's overpaid, but good for Dak. He deserved it. We think Russ is going to stay with Seattle, right?
Yeah.
And we think Deshaun's going to Miami.
Yeah.
If the Texans ever get their head out of their butt, right?
It will eventually have to happen, and then when it does happen, they will take whatever offer they give them.
They're gonna give him 4 first-round picks or something.
Exactly.
It's gonna be. You know what? Maybe they won't. Do you think they'll give him Tua? I'm just curious. Quickly. Maybe they'll give him Tua.
I think they might get Tua.
Do you think that they draft a quarterback then? They need everything. They probably wouldn't draft a quarterback then, right?
That's the thing, man. It's like all these dominoes, right?
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
There's so many variations to what can happen.
If I was the Texans, I would draft offense and defensive line with those picks. Or trade. Like what I would do is trade back. Trade those. The Dolphins have 2 in the top 10.
Yeah.
And then because all the linemen. Oh, maybe draft one of the linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So use the Dolphins picks, trade back, and draft one of those 2 great offensive linemen, either the Northwestern or the Oregon guy, and then draft a defensive lineman because no one's even talking about the defensive line, but there's always great defensive linemen, right?
Yeah.
Because of all the quarterbacks. But I would trade back and use those picks. But the Texans are stupid, so who knows?
We'll see.
And then maybe Jimmy G reunites with Belichick.
Oh, yeah.
And,
a little reunion over there.
And then hopefully Darnold, comes back to the West Coast. USC, he'll be in NorCal. So
that'd be sweet. Hey, let's let's
Pivot. Let's pivot.
let's pivot here. But we're not going to travel.
Ooh.
We're going to talk some NBA.
Oh no, that is traveling. We are traveling.
All right.
I thought you were when you say you're not going to travel, we're staying like within the same sport.
I was using the
Oh,
NBA
we're
reference.
pivot, not travel.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think.
no, you got me. That's way better.
I went
That's
over
way
the
better.
head there.
That did go over the head.
All right, so let's talk All-Star Game, and we can start it with.
Do you want to talk about the competitions first?
Yeah,
why don't we talk about? So you watched the trash game with the celebrities. Let's go over that.
Yeah, I watched a. I don't know how it was run. It was called Open Run, and I don't know exactly, how many games they had take place. But I did watch one of those games, and I think that was the most kind of circled game because it was Lil Baby. If you guys don't know who that is, that's a rapper. I know the name's kind of childish in my opinion, but
they probably know Little Baby.
And then 2 Chainz, everyone knows 2 Chainz.
So everyone knows 2 Chainz.
Those two are on a team against Quavo, the Migo member, and then Jack Harlow, who is, for those of you who don't know, the What's Poppin' guy.
So
like
I'm gonna ask you some questions about it because I didn't watch it, so because I didn't even know that existed. So that was the first event of All-Star Weekend. I do know that. So it was just 2-on-2? What was it?
It was a 2-on-2, and the way
21 or
it was 21, and the way the announcers were kind of making it seem, it was like a tournament, and these were the finals. But I could be wrong.
Were there other pairs?
That's the thing. They're like, this is Open Run. I just the way I was led.
Okay. Well, let's just talk.
The way I digested it.
Let's talk about the 2-on-2 you witnessed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Any I know 2 Chainz played a little bit of college ball.
There was
back
about.
In the day.
So it was like a 30.
I know.
Minute, it was a 30.
He's like 7 now.
30-minute, 40-minute, maybe even. Let's say 30-minute. Game to 21. I think Quavo probably had 17 points. Maybe 19. He did literally all the scoring, and every time it was like a 3 from like the same spot. It just totally reminded me of like watching, mid-level people play at like a public basketball gym.
I gotta give Quavo this though. He does play a lot of pickup, and he's in pretty good shape, like endurance. I know that. I've seen some pickup online or something. I don't know.
So Lil Baby was just totally just out of whack. Like, I don't know what he was doing on the basketball court, but that was just not his realm. And then 2 Chainz felt like he had to just put in too much work, and he was just kind of posting up a lot, like mid-range, like Carmelo, like territory.
He's playing 2-on-2, posting up. Oh man,
it was some eyesores. It was tough to watch.
I mean, that's interesting. I'm actually wrong. 2 Chainz is 43. So that's a wide age range.
Oh, his teammate was like half of his age.
Yeah, so who ended up winning?
It was a landslide. I think the final was 21 to 7.
Little Baby's team lost, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Quavo had 19 points. I think he hit the same 3 4 or 5 times.
Quavo played college basketball, right? Though I'm right about that.
2 Chainz did.
I mean, sorry, 2 Chainz.
Yeah,
not Quavo.
Long ago, yes, he was a man who lived by the words of "rap or go to the league."
All right. Well, that's interesting stuff. So you heard it here. Quavo and 2 Chainz.
It was kind of weak, and going forward, I would hope that they would pick celebrities. Quavo, he could ball out a little bit, but I wish they would have celebrities that were more, active with it, because just thought it was more for the names than it was the actual content.
I do still think that the 5-on. I do think the 5-on-5 is interesting, but they kind of crammed it all together and they were trying to rush it. They usually do the 5-on-5 with the actual game with the celebs, the full court.
Yeah.
I thought Kevin Hart playing that one year was funny.
Yeah, and Justin Bieber.
I want to see guys out there Justin Bieber's decent at basketball.
He had a couple shots. Yeah. I like the 5-on-5.
I want to see 5-on-5. I either want to see people that are super bad, but they're trying, like Kevin Hart. Little Baby wasn't even trying, right? I saw some highlights. It was just like
He
he was
had some
out there and he's
lowlights.
like,
I don't know if he was trying or not, but I would go with no.
I want to see people out there kind of like trying and like cool to make fools of themselves, and then other people that actually like play pickup. You know, like that's what I love. Like the Justin Bieber, Kevin Hart year, that was great.
Yeah, it just seemed like just the last thing I'll say. Quavo and Harlow had the game plan pretty much wrapped up. They knew that they could just take as many threes as they could. So Quavo was probably about like 30 or 40% from three, but he had
Yeah.
Harlow down in the middle, just grabbing rebounds and dishing it out to him, and Lil Baby couldn't keep up. So
They had a game plan.
their game plan was solidified, and I give them. I tip my cap to that.
Much like how the NBA game is played today.
I'm just gonna have to hit
Shoot
one of
threes.
these. Hit one of these for Quavo. All right. So
All right. Well, let's go on.
Yeah,
So
you take it.
So we'll go on. So I actually liked how they. I didn't like that part, but I kind of liked how they did So they did the skills, and then they did the 3-point, then they did the game, and then halftime they did the dunk, and then
What
they
a
ended
burn,
the game.
by the way.
The dunk contest sucks.
What
Anyways,
a burn.
the dunk contest, even Magic Johnson said it was crap. But we'll get into that.
We'll touch it very lightly. We'll try and do less than a minute.
I kind of watched half of it. It was terrible. But anyways, so the skills competition, I know you didn't watch that. I watched it. So what ended up happening? What ended up happening was Luka Doncic and Chris Paul got buys, I guess, because of their age and because one of them's in the MVP running. And that Robert Covington and someone else.
Sabonis or Vukovic?
No. Okay, you didn't watch.
I know who was in it though.
I know. I'm talking about the first round.
Yeah, I'm just naming people that I know are in it.
Yeah. No. So Vucevic. There was another smaller player. There was Robert Covington and another smaller player that lost to Sabonis and Vucevic in the first round.
Yeah.
And then Luka and Chris Paul got the buys, and they both lost to Sabonis and Vucevic. And then so these guys are both 6'11", right?
Hey, I didn't watch here, but I'm just going to interject really quickly.
Yeah.
Do you think that part of the reason why the two buys lost was because the other guys got a run on the course before them?
Okay, so Chris Paul.
He missed a layup, right?
So
If I'm not correct, I watched the highlights.
Chris Paul lost to Sabonis, and Sabonis was out there killing it.
But didn't Chris Paul miss a layup? I watched the highlights. I'm pretty sure he did.
Maybe he missed a layup. Maybe quickly. He did.
Missed the
he
layup.
got there first, and he missed. Yeah, he missed it. But Sabonis knocked down his first or second three. Sabonis was on. I'm not. That was a little understandable. It was Luka like not even wanting to be out there. He wasn't even trying against Vucevic. Like Vucevic beat him up and down the court. Luka couldn't make the pass. He missed like 4 passes. And then Sabonis. I mean, it was kind of a joke, but it was cool. Sabonis. It just shows. I gotta say one thing. Sabonis is very skilled. Like he's a very talented big. Like. But
the problem with the skill challenge, and when you have a guy like Doncic who literally did it last year, he lost to Trae Young in the finals.
He wasn't even out there trying to. He literally was jogging,
that's what I'm trying to say is.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a challenge that's kind of perceived as a joke and like very not meaningful. You know, you have a guy like Doncic. Why would they bring Doncic back? Like, who decides that? Is what I'm asking. Because he's obviously not going to care.
That's kind of the problem with all the competitions, right? Because some guys think they're too cool for it. I know. I was listening to The Ringer, and they were talking about that. A lot of guys don't want to do the skill contest,
like,
and a lot of guys.
This, man? You know, like,
the players decide if they want to do it or not.
I know, exactly. But what I'm trying to say is like, so did Doncic?
And I think
Did Doncic really say he wanted to do it, but really just
no? I think they just call people up and they're like, "Man, we got no one else, bro. Yo, Doncic, you want to do it again?"
Well, Doncic is a nice guy. I can see him doing it.
Yeah, Doncic, you want to do it again? I think that's because Brady, he went out there and he did it in his warm-up suit. He wasn't even wearing.
They
Like
should
Vucevic and Sabonis were like wearing their jerseys. Like Luka,
get Juan Toscano Anderson out there. Get some like freaking like unknown,
I don't know about that. I'd rather see a big name.
Okay, all right. I know, but I'm saying get
that's
someone.
The problem with
get someone that's hungry.
Try. No, I get it. Well, no one else wanted to do it. I don't think, especially this year, no one wanted to do the All-Star game in the first place, right? They were all complaining about it.
That's true.
So,
well, if it's going to be a big complaint fest, then why even run it?
I think it was just this year. Normally, the skills competition has a lot of love, a lot more love than the dunk contest gets now. You know.
I would rank, in my opinion, I'd rank it 3-point. Then I'd probably go skills. 3-point All-Star game skills, and then.
I mean, we're not ranking the All-Star game. We're not ranking.
Okay, so 3-point, skills.
Dunk.
And then you know what? I might even put celebrity showdown before dunk because dunk contest ain't been cool.
That's
for
the critique on the dunk because the Indiana guy. I don't think he played a game or two this year. Like no one wants. That's the problem with the dunk contest. There's no names in it, but we'll get to that. But
it's falling off heavy.
I'm just saying you need big names in the competitions. I'd rather have Luka out there.
You're hella right.
At least he wasn't trying hard, but he agreed to do it. I mean,
he's a big name. He's going to widen someone's attention on it.
I think you need the big games to do the skill competitions. I mean, all the competitions. You need the big names. You don't want random people doing it.
Hey, so you know what's cool about, and I know you probably argue the other way, but I think an interesting thing that the MLB did, I don't know if they do it anymore, but they made the All-Star game more meaningful with the winner of it getting home field advantage in the World Series. Do you think something like that, maybe not as dramatic as home field advantage?
I've always thought that's so stupid. I've thought that's the stupidest thing ever.
Okay, so because
that's such an important thing.
No, you're right. But do you think that something like that, like I don't know, maybe not home field advantage in the World Series, but I don't know if they can come up with a way to make players care more about these specific things.
I think they should do what they do for the All-Star game. Like the winner gets a big. The NBA has so much money, as you've alluded to. Like it's the most bang for your buck. I think they should $200,000 for your charity or something.
Yeah.
They don't do that for this. They just give you a trophy, right? I think they should do that.
Let them get some tax write-offs, man.
Because them doing it for every quarter for the All-Star game. Yeah, okay. You don't have to be soft. But don't you think? I think that would make it a bigger deal.
Definitely.
I think they should do something like that. And I just think, you got me shook with that. That's so negative to look on life like that. Okay.
No, help out the kids, man. For the kids.
Yeah, I think them getting a giant purse for charity, I think that's a big deal to some of them. So
no, definitely for the charity and for the kids.
Yeah, so Sabonis won. I like Sabonis. Sabonis is a really good player. But anyways, we'll go to the 3-point contest. Man, the 3-point contest. So what happened? So the contestants were Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Zach LaVine, Mike Conley, Steph Curry, Donovan Mitchell. Is that it? Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that Devin Booker, a couple days before the All-Star game weekend, he pulled a hamstring. So Mike Conley, which is really cool, it's his first All-Star game appearance ever in 14 years. So he was in the 3-point contest, and he was in the All-Star game for the first time ever. Which I thought I heard that.
You gotta be stoked about that.
I mean, I've always liked Mike Conley.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
What I'm really shocked is those Memphis years he didn't get 1 year in the All-Star game.
Well, that was always a big chip on his shoulder those times.
Weren't you shocked too? I'm shocked. I totally thought one of those Memphis years he got in.
You know how hard it is to make the
as a reserve. As a reserve, I thought he got in one of those years.
No, he was always on the. I mean, I remember the years when Steph was 24 points a game against the Nuggets. He was just putting himself in the door, and Conley was always a step below that.
You know what? Also, I think it is. Haven't you noticed the last couple of years, more guys they've probably been actually injured, but I feel like they got their All-Star game nod, but maybe they don't want to be in it. Haven't you noticed that a bunch of guys have been injured around All-Star game and a bunch of reserves get in, like D'Lo and
Yeah.
Haven't you noticed that the last 3 years?
There's definitely
Back then,
every season there's a group of players that you're okay, they're on the team, but there's
there were reserve
five or
all-star.
six there's 5 or 6 guys that are just going ham.
No, but what I'm saying is that in the early 2010s, that wasn't happening. Because otherwise Mike Conley would have for sure been the number one reserve in. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I get you.
I'm saying the last 3 or 4 years it's happened a lot.
There's a lot of players that kind of, go for the show and then they're out.
Yeah. So anyways, back to the 3-point contest. So the first round Steph owned. Steph and Connolly owned, actually. Conley got a 28 and Steph got a 31. It was crazy. It was really interesting. We actually... I was wrong. The 2 Mountain Dew balls were added last year during the bubble.
Oh, really?
We weren't really tuned into the bubble that much. People,
No.
sorry
We didn't have a podcast.
I love the 2 Mountain Dew balls. I do love those spots,
especially if you're a Steph Curry better like myself.
I just wish Dame was out there too. That would have been
cool. That would have been great.
Anyways, so Conley, man, I gotta give him. Man, he just gets subbed in, and he scores the second best in the first round. So him and Zach LaVine and Steph make a cut for the final 3. And then Reggie's it's funny. Reggie Miller took Shaq's spot and was talking during the 3-point contest because they kicked him off. They literally kicked off Shaq because he's like, Shaq, you're not a shooter. You got to go. You got to let Reggie have your spot.
Hilarious. Did they get rid of Charles too?
Chuck wasn't there all weekend. I don't know where he was.
Oh, right. Okay.
He was Dwayne because Dwayne Wade was on set.
That's right. Maybe he's having some COVID personal thing.
Yeah, he's also an older guy, so maybe but it was listening to Jet and Reggie talk about Steph, Steph, man, he's putting the fear of God. Reggie's like, he's putting the fear of God into these boys. he's like, so with that 31 in the first round, he's put the fear of God in them. He's like, I'd be surprised if any of these guys get 20, and then Zach LaVine comes out and clanks and gets a 17 on the championship round, and then Conley comes in and he looks bad off the start. But the thing is, so Conley started from the left in the first round, and Conley's a lefty, so he was going from the left, and it looked like when he started on the right in the championship round, it looked like it messed up his form because instead of grabbing from the left, he had to go around the rack and grab from the right, and it screwed him up on the right half of the court, so it looked like he was playing bad, but then he ended up going 27, so it's like he put the pressure on Steph, right? Steph's got to beat a 27, he's going last. And then Steph starts off by missing his first 4 shots in the left hand. And you know what's funny? This year, he's been terrible from that left-hand corner in games. Have you noticed that? Yeah. That's been his worst spot on the court, that left-hand corner. So he hit both of his Mountain Dew balls. And then he goes down, and then he can only miss 1 from his last rack to be in it. If he misses 2, he's done. So he makes one, he misses 1. So he's got 3 balls left. He's got 2 normals and his money ball, and he's down by 3. So he's got to make all of them to win. And if he misses 1, he loses. He makes one, and then he has a little bit of time. He composes himself and he drains the final 2 to win, and he beats Conley 28-27. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty good analysis, play-by-play for the podcast right there.
I had a great time watching it.
No, I know. And personally, me being a bettor for Steph Curry,
did you bet on him?
I put $50 on Steph Curry to win the 3-point contest.
He was plus 200, right?
I got him at plus 105. I was so confident.
It was easy money. Yeah.
I mean, once I saw Devin Booker was out, I think
Devin Booker's hamstring. I think he was the biggest.
Plummeted. But yeah, it was a great showcase, and it's always good to see the King return.
The 3-point contest is the most interesting thing to watch right now. Just the new age.
I mean, we went into it last episode. It's the only competitive.
It's also where the NBA has gone. You know,
you're right.
Even though those weren't the best 3-point shooters, all of those guys were really good 3-point shooters. You know,
it's just it's definitely the dunk contest is taken a step back, and the 3-point contest is the forefront.
It's the new age. The 3-point contest is
a good point, man.
And it's fun. And you know what? And you know what? The best shooter, it's like if Dominique and Jordan did it every year, like back in the day. It's like Steph puts on a show for the people. You can hate on Steph all you want. He goes out there and he does every 3-point contest. He doesn't have to do it. He's already won it, right?
Yeah.
LeBron will never give us a dunk contest.
What's up with that, man?
But none of them do it. I'm not going to hate on LeBron. None of them do the dunk contest. I guarantee you Zion's not going to do it. After watching the piss-poor performance, he's not going to do it this year.
That's what it's going to take to revive it, though. You're going to need a guy like Zion.
A bunch of the young studs are going to have to do it, right? Zion.
I remember watching Giannis.
Ja Morant.
I remember watching Giannis do it a while back, and that was like, I was like, who is this guy?
But Giannis, that's when Giannis was the 13th overall pick.
That was when he was a baby, yeah.
He was a little, and he was shorter too. He was like 6'9" at the time or something. He was like totally not, he was 17 years old, I think, or 18.
No, anyway, yeah, he was a baby. We're at the hour mark here.
So the All-Star game.
Yeah.
You got to get into the All-Star game. So anyways, props to Steph Curry. That was his second in 7 tries, and he shouted out Klay Thompson. That was for you at the end. I thought that was cool.
Pretty dope.
So to get into the All-Star game, it was. Oh, and also props to Mike Conley. That was awesome that he came out there and put on a show, as a reserve. But so Team LeBron versus Team Durant.
What was instead of doing a play-by-play? Why don't we just go through what was your favorite moment?
Oh, I'm not gonna do a play-by-play.
Okay, all right.
Take it easy, bro.
I wasn't sure what was going on after the 3-point shootout.
No, I took the 3-point. I felt like that was quick enough where I could do that.
No, I hear it. So I wasn't sure where it was going.
Team LeBron, Team Durant. The big things were Team LeBron lost Ben. So Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
the debacle that happened.
The COVID.
So this is what happened to them. So the day before they were supposed to go down there, they had a haircut in Philadelphia, and their barber came into contact with someone with COVID, and so he called them up. And because he had come into contact with someone and they had come into contact with him, they weren't allowed to travel.
Wow.
So they were at home. Yeah, and I do think that would have had. So Giannis won the MVP. I don't think he could have had those 40 dunks that he had with Joel Embiid on the opposing side. No. So I think that was a huge thing, right?
But I still think that our pick for Team LeBron, they were just way more talented. Due to the fact that Kevin Durant had to draft for his team.
I think that it would have been a really interesting game if Booker, Durant, and Embiid were all playing for Team Durant. That would have been nuts.
That's a good point. But I think Simmons is a really good defender.
I think that Team LeBron's team is still better, but it would have been neck and neck with Durant and Booker and Embiid out there.
Yeah.
And even if they got Simmons, Anyways, Team LeBron won every single quarter. So Team Durant's charity only got the base minimum.
Wow.
The charity, you get $100,000 every quarter.
Oh,
did you see all the memes? You know what? The funniest meme, if you guys know The Office, the Scott's Tots episode.
Yeah. What you gonna do, Mr. Durant?
They memed somebody, a savage, did the meme. And they did, when Michael Scott's sitting in the class before he's got to go up and talk to them, they did Durant as Michael Scott, and then Durant's, whatever his foundation was all the kids.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's too much, man.
The internet's undefeated, right?
Hey, Mr. Durant, what you going to do?
Because they literally didn't win a single quarter. But anyways. So Giannis went 16 of 16 from the field.
That's a great episode, by the way, if you want to cringe at something.
That might be one of the cringiest things I've watched in cinematography I've ever watched.
I remember I back in the day when we were watching Netflix out in the garage, I memeingly would always put that episode on, and I think we would be feeling a certain way, so we wouldn't understand what was going on. But
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
When Chet would walk in sometimes, and he's like, "You guys are watching this again? This is so cringe."
We watched that episode probably like 4 times.
No, it was more than that. We would have it on because we
We
wouldn't be
watched
able
it
to
probably about 5 times, and there's
Yeah.
a number of people that had probably seen it multiple
But
times.
people would walk in and be like, "You guys are watching the cringiest episode ever." It's like
It was
funny.
it was a movement.
Anyways, it was hilarious. It was almost like to make other people feel awkward. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was like a little inside joke between us, and then we'd start laughing. But anyways, that's a little bit too much information. So Steph and Dame own the game, man. Deep bombs.
Yeah, man. The way
back.
they ended the first half, I believe Dame
Dame went first,
and then Steph.
half court. Reggie Miller. Anything you can do, I can do better.
But after I rewatched the highlights there, anything you could do, I could do better. Dame actually shot the deeper one. Steph was a few feet.
He shot behind half court.
He shot behind. Steph was a few feet before. I still love the call.
I do.
Not accurate.
Think I hate the. I see. If we weren't at the hour point, I could go on Dame and Steph rants all the time. I get sick of the comparisons between Dame and Steph because I love both of them. Dame's my second favorite
player.
Dame's probably my favorite player that's a non-warrior.
Yeah,
it's
it's hard not to appreciate it.
Because I mean, he's from Oakland. I mean, he's a native man. He's one of us. He's from the Bay.
Definitely.
So I love how humble he is, and he's boss, and he's clutch as hell. So it's they're both great. They both shot 8 of 16 from 3. Like literally, both of them shot. They both shot 8 of 16 from 3. It was crazy. So, it was great. Both of them are the best deep 3-point shooters, like maybe the league has ever had. So it's great to see them out there. And it was great. I love seeing. They were like, it's like Steph's joy was like infectious. Did you notice Giannis and LeBron even? LeBron and Steph were on their same team for the first time ever.
I saw a lot of talks about that.
Did you see LeBron's tweet?
Yeah, it sounds like he wants to play for the Warriors, or he wants Steph coming down.
He's recruiting Steph. He's recruiting Steph.
A little sus of LeBron there.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good vibes.
No, it was definitely good vibes.
You took it a weird way.
I didn't take it a weird way. I initially thought it was good vibes. I just wanted to make a story out of it.
So this is what it said. It said, finally got to share the floor with Steph Curry. Well overdue, and I loved every single second. # greatest shooter of all time. # changed how the game is played by himself alone. That's a pretty big deal.
There's only 2 players that LeBron has tweeted about. One of them being in 2021, and that's Steph and Tom Brady. So that just goes to show you that LeBron is about greatness.
Well, he congratulated Giannis and Dame too, but. Let me finish. He said, # respect the onwards, # just some kids born in Akron, because they were born in the same hospital.
Yep. But he there's something about greatness, and Giannis is in that category as well.
Yeah.
Where LeBron is really only going to acknowledge it if it's that level,
He's never, been, I don't think he's ever been this, it's always been, a little bit of,
it took him a while.
I feel like Steph's also not in a threatening team position right now.
He didn't say this 3 years ago, yeah.
Well, he's not a threat right now, right? And he might not, some people think the Warriors will never get back to that point. So I think that's why I did think that was a little bit, I'm not trying to be negative. That's a pessimistic view on it.
And I brought that out of you, and I'm sorry.
You did take that, but I have thought about that a little bit. I did think he is not in a threatening position right now, so I did think about that. You got to think about everything. But it was cool to see. He's never been that publicly outspoken in giving Steph props, but it was great. It was fun to see LeBron and Steph and Dame and Giannis. Man, those LeBron starters were just way better than Durant starters, even if all of them played. But they won every quarter. One thing, LeBron's 4-0 as a captain. All the LeBron talk, LeBron people. Maybe he's due for owning a team. He's a better owner than Jordan. #
GM LeBron.
He could see talent. He's 4-0 as a captain.
GM baby.
He said he'd love to retire so he could keep his perfect record.
So Giannis ends up winning the MVP. Puts on a perfect night from the field.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty much ultimate domination there from the LeBron. I almost said West. LeBron team over the Durant. And
LeBron only played 13 minutes
I
for
saw
4
that.
points.
It was just for show, man.
I do think I would have the last point on the All-Star game. We don't have to talk about it anymore. That's about it. But I think that Dame and Steph should have gotten co-MVPs. That's what I should have think happened. They were the only interesting part of that game. Giannis's dunks were not interesting. I mean, his couple of threes that he banked off the glass, he did make one clean three. I will give him that.
In the corner there, yeah.
And I like Giannis, but Giannis was definitely hunting shots. Like that's the other thing with Dame. Dame was hunting. Steph was not hunting shots. Steph was like messing around.
They weren't unorganic, is what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, and Giannis, because he's big, Dame wasn't even hunting shots that hard. Giannis was just driving and dunking. No one was playing defense. And I love Giannis, and I hate to hate on Giannis, but I just think I wasn't. That's not why I enjoyed watching the game. I enjoyed watching the game because of Steph and Dame. I think they should have gotten co-MVPs. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think you could say it better, Dean. And I'm just going to quickly wrap up here and let the viewers know that we are going to be doing a March Madness podcast on Monday of next week.
And next Monday, March 15th.
March 15th, we'll be doing our tournament picks and such.
Selection Sunday is this Sunday, March 14th. If y'all want to look on ESPN,
and then if you guys tune into us on Friday, we'll be doing some NBA recap and looking at the next slate of games.
Oh, we would like to say that next Monday we will be filling out a bracket.
So fill out a bracket with
us.
So
it will be a fun day. We will be filling out an entire bracket.
And everything will be live going forward at 5 p.m. Sorry about the mishap this week, or this Monday episode. That was definitely a mistake that won't happen again.
Yeah, it's just on record. We swear we were on here at 5.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out, and had a good time recapping the All-Star game.
We'll see you Friday. Good to talk to you guys.
See you guys on Jersey Friday.
Jersey Friday. Peace.